what I didn't want to do with just counter sinks. I gotta pull all these out. Bottom doesn't matter. It's only the top because I am putting a what are we putting? We're putting a lid on this, which I will be doing off camera. I've got some fun painting stuff I'm gonna do with water on the lid. I do have to cut it, so I'll do that today. I'll get it sanded, get it taken inside because we're gonna paint inside. And then I'll get these countersunk repainted because I don't want to see it when I lift up the lid. Come on. And then we will work on a different thing, I think, this afternoon. Oh, and I got all of the blades, the new blades I needed for the feet. So we'll get that cut up today too, hopefully. Okay, for some reason that one's not going through properly, so just take it off the bottom. No big deal. Okay. Get these moved. These put away. Okay. Let's get the ladder out so that we can countersink. It's not what I wanted to do, but it's the only way to do what I need to do. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get my big out this way. Definitely need to move that camera a little bit so that you guys can see where I work. Okay. Let's get this one put away as well. 5/16. I did a quarter first, that didn't work. 5/16 second. Now I'm going to use something very large to hopefully help with the countersink. I'm just going to put it right at the top, hopefully. I'm gonna try and do this where I vacuum at the same time. Let me grab my drill. Okay, here comes some loud noise if you need to turn off your speaker. is my first color. Get it off a little bit. Let's go ahead and get that through. Okay, so literally just going to be a knot at the top. I'll probably dab a bit of glue on it as well, just to make sure it stays. Once it's in the hole, I'll put the glue on it. Okay, let's see if I did that big enough. Almost. Might not actually need to paint anything. My issue is that the tail is still going to be too long. I can't get the whole knot in there. Okay, so I do need it to be bigger. Definitely will need to cut it a little bit more too. Okay, let's see if I've got a bigger bit somewhere that I can use. Currently using half. Up. Definitely aren't going to be the best for what I need, but let's see. It's a 3/8. That's smaller. Got a 5/8. It's really big. Another half. Half. Maybe I'll try this one and see what we get. I'm gonna skip the vacuum because it really didn't work last time. Okay. That is not working the way I'd hoped. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, getting the vacuum back out. Let's try this one. That definitely did not do what I wanted. I really just need it to, oh, that's not gonna work. Our tools, power tools. I'll use this one. Ooh, just barely fits. Okay, literally just need it right here on the top. Okay, vacuum's coming back out. We'll try this one again. Okay. everything's coming back out, and then we'll test it. If this works, then we will go ahead and use this one, this size. Hopefully this goes through here. There we go. And then we will, okay. So that should work. Just have to cut off the tail. Might need to go a little lower on that one specific, but like that one will work perfect. So I will change the view so you can see what I just did. And that way, so I just essentially made a hole for the knot to sit in. And then I'll cut this off a little bit, glue it so that it's all glued down in there, and that's it. That'll be done. I am gonna paint the inside of these holes though, because I'm a weirdo and I like that kind of aesthetic. I don't want to see all of the natural wood of the 2x4. So let's go ahead and cut some of these and we'll go from there. Here comes some noise. To fix that board there. Do need to cut this one a little bit deeper. There we go, that one's a little too far now. That's okay. We just don't want to go all the way through. So we do want to go through, but not all the way, or then it won't sit properly. Okay, I'm going to I'm just gonna lean, I think. Oh, I went a little too far on that one too. Once I've gotten that done, we'll get the paint on it. We'll go from there. Here comes the vacuum. Spots that I need to fix. There's some snaps. That kind of works. Not sure. So that way the bungee doesn't get stuck on these bits. I'm also gonna fix this piece so it doesn't come up and hurt my daughter at some point. Okay. This one. This is the other one. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I think everything else should be okay. Put some paint on that. And then go from there. Okay, let's get this one painted. Okay, so now we will touch up some paint and go from there. Let's see here. So on this one, I'm gonna find my paints. I'm gonna need this, a paintbrush. Fortunately, I think most of my paintbrushes are, yeah. Okay, here's the black. My limousine leather. I have to dig into Waters paintbrushes to get some smaller bits because I don't think this is gonna work. Let's see here. This will work. Really need to go through the box and get it cleaned up. Okay. So get this. And the cord will mostly cover all of the inside. I'm just trying to get it down a little bit so that we don't see the wood down there as much. There we go. Okay. Okay. That one looks good. It is hot out here. I'm sure during the winter I'll be complaining that it's cold out here. But right now it's showing 77, which just means it is hot outside as well. Okay. Oh, keeps going off. Okay. What's the temperature outside? It is in the 80s. Yikes. Okay. We had company a couple weekends ago, and we had to move all of Water's stuffed animals into her closet so that our company could use her room because we don't have a spare bed. And we just took the stuffies back out of the closet last night, and she asked me when this is going to get done. So I am going to try and knock literally as much as I can off today. I think the only thing that I'm not going to get to is going to be painting, doing the fun bits with the lid that she and I are going to work on. We're going to do that off camera so that she can work on that with me one of these afternoons. And then, but I do have to cut the lid a little bit today because it is not going to be one solid piece. It is going to be kind of two pieces in a way. So I do have to get that cut today so that we can work on getting it painted. Came up with a really neat idea on how it's going to look when you open and close it. Since I'm not going to be able to make a cushion right away, it's going to be a little bit before I'm able to make the cushion. So came up with an idea of how we can make it look fun for her without a cushion, and she loved the idea, so we're gonna get that worked on in the next couple weeks too. I of course forgot I'm a big fan of my coveralls that I bought and had sized and everything. They seem like they're too tight at the top, and then every time I have to take them off, they're just a pain. So I don't know that I'm going to be wearing them as much, but I'm wearing just a plain shirt today, just a whatever. Sits in my closet, use it when I need it kind of thing. So probably go back to doing that for now. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the white thing. So hopefully you'll be watching this and liking the journey of how this has been so far. You guys almost have been a part of the whole thing. And I know it's taken me forever, but we've had life going on in the middle of everything. And that also has to happen. So when you're a mom of a almost 7-year-old, you kind of have to go with the flow a lot. So that is what I do. I go with the flow. Kind of have to. Oops. I'm just gonna touch everything with my paintbrush today, I guess. Keep dropping bits. Oh well. Nothing can be perfect, right? Like I said, I'm making this whole thing up, so yeah, pretty proud of how it's come out so far. I have a fly in here that is going to drive me batty. I mean, hasn't been flying until, again, recently. So, don't know what the deal is or where it's been hiding. Okay. So recently, I've been watching a lot of Angela Lansbury on TV. It's been fun. Tend to do that when I just want kind of whatever on the TV, nothing super fancy. Nothing I have to pay attention to, I guess, would be another way of describing that. Try and get rid of some of these pencil marks. Probably just wipe them off, but I'm gonna just, for now, see if painting that makes sense or not. Okay, there we go. Okay. Well, this side is done. Let's go ahead and switch to the other. Let's get all this stuff off so I don't knock it off. So I will. I'm definitely moving the paint as well, because again, don't want to knock that off. Okay. Has anybody found the new craze for K-pop Demon Hunters in their house? We watch it almost daily. Basically daily. Yeah. Water's gonna be roomy for Halloween because that's just a thing, right? Did I get these little tiny flies? There we go. That guy off of my stuff here. Okay. Let's get these ones painted. I forgot my headphones today. I'm not exactly sure where they are. I keep like setting them down the last couple of days and having no clue where I put them. I don't have the Apple ones where you can just be like, hey, ding me. I'm sure I'd probably ding these ones. They're Beats, but don't mind. I'll find them eventually. They're probably in my office or my bedroom. I don't know. I forgot that I need to read. I'm part of a podcast with a friend of mine. And I forgot to read for tonight's book. Or for tonight's chapter, I should say, not the book, the chapter. If it was a whole book, I'd be screwed. a slow reader, but it is not a whole book. It is just a chapter I have to read. Or well, it's 3 chapters, but yeah. Either way, still gotta do that for this evening. So I think I'll have plenty of time after I get done with today's garage project here. And then I think over the next couple days I'll be working on something else. What I actually want to try and start selling for my business. So you guys will get kind of a sneak peek on that over the next couple of days. I gotta time myself to see how fast I can make them. So that will determine how much I charge them for, or charge for them. Yeah. So. Anyways, today's Monday, right? Yeah. All day yesterday, I kept thinking it was Monday. I kept doing things throughout the day and going, oh no, I gotta read for my podcast, or oh no, I forgot to send water with her lunch, even though she was at my house. I don't know. Yeah, it was just a day. Yesterday was a day. Let's just put it that way. I think every parent gets those every once in a while though, where they are just off a complete day for the whole day. Okay. This paintbrush is not gonna like me at the end of the thing. It's gonna be all fuzzy and all over the place. Oh well, I bought cheapy paintbrushes for water and her paint stuff so that her and her friends from the neighborhood can just kind of come and be creative if they want, or not, whatever. I do like to hang out in the garage a lot, so I have to make sure my tools are put away and not out. Don't want anybody hurting themselves. So I'm not all sure what I'm supposed to tell you, or kind of share about myself, but I have extreme ADHD, so I tend to babble, get sidetracked, and be all over the place. It's just life. Sounds like a airplane going overhead. We got a lot of those around where I'm at. I also don't know what you guys would be really interested in hearing from me. Obviously, too, not many people have actually watched my videos yet, but that's okay. Except my husband, though he won't be able to watch them for a while. He is on a new contract, so yeah. Let's see. So the place that we're at, we rent. I mean, when you live in Colorado. Most people do. It's expensive to live here. But yeah. Let's see here. Gonna get Water a new puppy at some point. Well, it's probably not gonna be a puppy, but definitely gonna be a dog. Hopefully one that is already potty trained. Wouldn't that be nice? Just gonna miss my husband a lot, so we've been missing our puppies. We had 2 black labs that we loved to death. We had Radar. He was a retriever mix, and he was named after, obviously, Radar from MASH, if you are a MASH fan. My husband and I used to watch it when we lived in Minnesota in our tent in the living room with our Jägermeister and our food and our puppies. We also had Mickey, aka Tuna Fish or Tuna Tank. She was allergic to chicken, so we had to change her food out, and she got switched over to tuna, and she was definitely on the beefier side, and she she was amazing. But yeah, so we miss them. Okay, I'm gonna go put these inside so that they don't dry this way, hopefully. Oh, looks like I need to do some touch up on the inside here. Must have had something cut through it. That's okay. Got a little touch. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Be right back. I'm gonna take this inside. Okay, well, that's done. We've got that cut. I'll have to do some dusting and wiping down at some point after. But I think for now, we're gonna push this all the way back. Put it on my way here. Okay, I've got a cut to make. I think I do need my ladder back though real quick because I gotta make a measurement. Gotta climb on the table. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is about 1.5 inches cut depth. I want the hinge to sit on this part of the board, so that way when you flip up the lid, it's got this, and if you're sitting on it, then it's still protected. Okay, so we'll do do that. Let's get this paint cleaned up real quick. One of these points I will get up and move one of those cameras a little bit so you guys can see when I'm working over here on the table saw too. So now you can't really see that bit. Okay, some of this stuff put away. Painting stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna get this drill put away. This one there. This one there. That one there. I think that should work. Nope. Let's see. Gotta be able to fit all my drills and stuff in here. Okay, let's see how that works. Sort of, yeah. Okay, get these ones put away. This up a bit. Right there. Like that. Okay, get these on the charger. Make sure I have this box in here. Just got a bunch of random stuff in a box. Okay, cool. Okay, so next thing I gotta do is I'm gonna get this up here. I need to cut 1.5 inches. Don't forget we have a nail on one side. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this part on the 2x4. We've got the nail coming in, yeah, straight this way. So if I cut off the 1.5 inches on this end, we should be good. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna go 1.5 inches in. Let me get my square out. Inch and 1/2 here. There. Make our mark on this end. Oops. 1.5 inches there. Do a couple more just to make sure that we're cutting straight. Up here, okay, we are on, oops, that. things, you know, the normal for me. Let's get this on. Okay. Guess my best friend is sending something to our house. No idea what it is. Gotta love a good best friend though, right? Always trying to do something for you and your kid when you're going through a hard time. Gotta love that. Oh yes. Never mind. It's nothing fun and special. It's just a math thing for water for school. So anyways, okay, we're gonna get this cut. I gotta scoot this back a little here so we're not on the board when I plunge. And here we go. Inch and a half. Woo! It's a lot of wood stuck in my shirt. It's the one thing about track saw and other things I'm just not a big fan of is how sharp they cut. Oh, okay. Sorry guys, I know you couldn't see that, but I got that cut. Okay, so now that I've got that cut, I'm gonna need to sand it, and then we'll move on to, I'll have to bring that inside when I'm done. I've got these that I put on. Let's see here, do I have more of these? I did. Doesn't look like it. Okay, no big deal. Put these inside. I'm gonna move all this. First, I'm gonna sand it, and then I'll take it inside, and I'll have to paint it the primer, and then from primer we'll do the fun bits. But okay, if you need volume down, I am going to be using the sander and the dust collector. So again, I don't have a mouse sand pad right now. That's okay. I'll move this over so that you guys can see. So I don't have the actual one that fits. That's okay. I'm not going on the tips or the edges. I'm just going to go straight down the middle. So I'm using a 120, and then I'll switch over to a, I believe 210 or 220. I'm gonna let you know, I'm not using anything fancy. I'm just using a sanded ply, just because that's what I've got. And I'm doing a little testing with sanded ply versus birch or some of those other more expensive versions of plywood. For this kind of application, this isn't going to be a big deal. The issue that I'm having with sanded ply though is that it does tend to splinter a lot more on here. You're also seeing this next piece of plywood in there a lot more than you would on a birch or a maple or something more high-end. So that's the only other issue I'm running into with these. But that's pretty good for now. It's just gonna get paint on it. I'm not too worried about it. It will take a cheesecloth to it, make sure that there's no dust or fibers or anything on it. I might need to, where that nail went in, I might need to do a little work to it. But the paint might also help with that. So I'm just gonna use my garage brush off some of these fibers just so I can have kind of a cleaner slate when I go to sand the top of this side. I'm sanding it all the way around edges and whatnot because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of, like I said, the fibers. Also from when I cut it, you've got all of these bits and pieces. So we want to make sure that comes off. Okay, here we go. Dust off before I can get inside. There we go. Okay. So one thing about sanding that you always want to do is you want to make sure you sand with the wood, It also depends on the kind of sander you have. I'm using my mouse sander right now. That one is a little bit different. You don't necessarily have to go with grain. I'm finding with the sanded ply though that you definitely need to. With birch, I don't see that problem as much. But again, every wood is different. So I'm gonna take these inside and I'll be right back. I'm also gonna grab a water really quick because I suck at trying to remember to drink my water. If I don't have one, then I won't drink it. So I'm gonna go grab one. I forgot to fill one up this week, or this morning. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I drank half my water before I came out and then needed to fill it again. Okay, so for the thingy, I can't think right now, the stuffy bench that I am making currently, we're gonna wait for the paint to dry on it, and then we're gonna go ahead and get it laced up. We'll get the knots glued and whatnot. What else are we gonna do? I'm gonna work on the lid. I should probably work on the feet. And then with my new blades that I got, get those done. I need to make shelves still for the side, so I'll need to figure out what board I'm going to use for that so that I can get them painted as well. Not sure that I have enough 1/4-inch boards. I've got one, maybe two. I'll have to take a look at what I've got there. How about we work on these feet? And if not, then we'll work on something else, I guess. Let's see if we can get this wind to work. everybody's hair with my talking. Maybe grab my new blades real quick here. Loosen it. Let's go ahead and change the blade. Okay. Real quick. Okay. Go back, grab those. So hopefully I ordered the right size. Looks like it, okay. It looks like we've got a couple different teeth options because I was noticing that the teeth on this one definitely should not be used for the finer stuff. So this one, this tooth setup is a 15T. I'm thinking, is it a 15 or an 18? Definitely a 15. Okay. I think I'm gonna try a 10. See what we get. See if that'll help cut these a little bit better, faster. And not be as difficult. Let's see what we get though. If not, then I'm not 100% sure what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep trying to cut them, that's for sure. I like my feet that I just made. I'd like to try and use them. Okay. Here. Okay. There's that. Okay. Let's see how that works. Go ahead and turn that down a little. Make sure I've got my teeth on correctly here. I always feel like I don't put them on correctly. Okay. Am I cutting anything? That's another question. Am I cutting? Definitely cutting. So I guess we'll see it continues to cut, I might try, ooh, wood is hot. It's cutting. Let's see what it does if I have a little less wood. Hold on 1 second. cutting through this. So let's get it back in there. I'm gonna turn it down, go back in. Got less wood. don't think this is working. It's too hot. I'm worried that it's going to burn. Okay, so I'm gonna try one other thing with my miter saw, see if it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, and we'll have to move on from these feet to probably something else that I buy. So you need to turn off your volume, do that now. And let's see what we get. with my miter saw. So I'm going to sand it really quick without leaving very hard here. I'm just going to hook it up to this one instead of with my thing on. Let's see what I got. Perfectly round, but you know what? It's round enough. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these out on there. I'm not going to do it while I'm on with you guys. It's just too loud. It takes a lot of time. So we'll be okay with that. And so what's next? I guess. So what else do I need to do? I need to pull the things, the knots. Those are almost done. Maybe make shells, cut those, make the feet, and the lid. I think I'm basically done with the board. Soon as I get these feet, put them on. Feet are just basically going to help it stay off of the floor. I didn't want it directly on the floor. But I think we're almost there. Okay, I'm going to get this moved. I'm going to take the blade off of this though. Okay, so at least we know what we're doing with these. They're definitely not for as thick as I'm working on. Maybe next time I can try them on something a little thinner and see if that helps. Put these back in the big bag, so that way I've at least got the blades all together. I'll put them in my blade drawer. That way, again, they're all together. Gotta keep all this kind of stuff together. Okay. Clean up some of this. Get it put away. And then, what's next? Like I said, I should probably look for boards, or I could probably look at working on my other project I need to do. Okay. Get that down. This away. Okay. With the miter saw so I can work on that later. Now I'm gonna unplug the miter saw. Again, that way the littles don't get into it. I have a fly in here and it's bugging me. Okay. So, I cut this on the machine. This was cut on the thing. Yeah. Stand and play. Doesn't look great. Let's just put it that way. But it does look like a Game Boy controller or a Xbox or whatever you want to call it. So that's always nice. But this is what I'm going to be working on next. And I think I'm going to do a separate video for this because I want to do something special with it. So, oh, she's live. Those look like circles or feet or circle feet. Love you. Love you too, honey. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go for today, and I'm gonna make a video of this in a different format. Okay, I will explain how I made this and everything else in another video, and I'll see you guys next time.